can't keep doing this, Mike. Who mentioned anything about Earth Spirit here? Okay, you're like.
Smoke. Hold on, John. Nice sticky bomb. Jabay, he has got the chance to just put up leap, and he does. Doesn't want it at level 1, but has no choice. It's either feed first blood or skill that up. I think Wildcard will still be pretty happy knowing that they forced the leap to be skilled up here by Jabay. So the level 1 timings here for Monster now in the Visage is going to feel a lot safer.
Yeah, it's going to feel pretty good. I want to say, Mike, you know, you raising up Earth Spirit every moment you can. It reminds me of this character from Big Lebowski, which I know you haven't watched.
I haven't.
It's John Goodman's character. And
no idea who that is.
Walter Sobchak. John Goodman? Fred Flintstone? Probably not his most famous role, to be fair, but always remember him as Fred Flintstone.
Oh, that's the one movie I've probably watched with the guy, to be honest. I love that movie.
It's a pretty fun film, right? Yeah, it was a really great film. Good live action.
We agree for once. Look at that. Bounty Rune fight. 3 bounty runes going to the way of American Goons so far. A pretty strong start. Wildcard. Only going to find 1 for their trouble. Not the biggest deal, though. Like you see, Jabay, he's going to run all the way back to the fountain and TP back into the laning stage. Should still be able to make it in time. But a 3-for-1 start. You've got to be happy with that if you're the Goons.
You're definitely happy. Like, you get a little bit more to go, especially for your mid. So that means Esk will be able to hit a wand bottle timing a little bit faster. Babatich, Bat Rider mid still crushes a lot of these melee matchups. Ember Spirit, no exception. Not the easiest of the times for the Ember to kind of get what he wants there. Like, you can go for a Sleight of Fist, try to dodge out, but even Wand, I don't know if it's going to be a lot of value, because you could still just go for Firefly Flame Break over Napalm and still run down, and then suddenly you don't have like that much flash healing from the Magic Stick or the Wand here for Esk. So I don't expect this lane to be any even the last lane. To be fair, it should be better. Well, I don't know. Like, I felt like his Primal Beast also should have gotten more in the last lane. So who knows? Maybe Esk steps it up here.
You know what they should do with Primal Beast, John?
Yeah.
They should make it so Onslaught doesn't stun, but it slows. That'd be really smart. We should make Onslaught slow instead of stunning.
Stop it, Walter. What's wrong with you, Walter, man? You know?
Bottom lane, Giants done a great job of just sending out Sunlight. The problem is at level 2, when Sunlight's got level 2, Giant's probably just dead. Like, if he overextends just a little bit and you have a couple of decays plus Tombstone, the Lion is just destroyed.
Yeah. Should be no way he lives through that. Issue is Sunlight is out of mana.
Yeah, there's that problem.
Yeah, just a minor inconvenience, I'm sure, for Sunlight. He'll find a way back. We'll get some regen going here. I think the one thing that can get annoying in this lane for Sammy and for Sunlight is if Giant also opts to go for, say, a mana drain build, then Sunlight just actually has no lane, right? Like, you can't spam your spells if you're just being drained out. And you don't expect Sammy to run up and hit the line for you as well. So it's just a little bit awkward. That gives a little Nick the space to farm up the core to core for Timbersaw versus Faces Void. It's not a kill lane for sure for a Timbersaw up against a Faces Void, just because you'll always have Time Walk, but at the same time, Lil Nick shouldn't be pressured too hard. Again, if Sunlight can't come in with the Decay, then Timbersaw is pretty free to farm here as well. Or rather, even farming land.
So far, a pretty even laning stage here between these two teams. Mid lane, bit of a jump in here from Babadich, getting very aggressive. Firefly, oh, it's going to be enough. Here we go again. Babadich just out to prove something here today. Finding first blood on the Ember, and he does it the old school way, John. Just level 2 sticky napalm with the Firefly, just jumps right in.
He's had a fantastic start. He's been controlling that lane well. He's been applying a lot of pressure. Finding that kill big. Finding the bounty to steal away is also pretty nice. And with that TP, because Esk was trying to TP backwards, and he's forced to walk back. So you lose everything there for your Ember. You're going to lose out on a lot of EXP in the farm. Babitich is going to have a much faster time into that 6 point.
Oh, Boris. A little bit careful there, sir. He waveformed in very aggressively. Not going to quite die, but they certainly do threaten his life quite a bit. Luckily for him, Monster did run out of mana as well, so no secondary soul assumption to come out. Not that it would have really been enough anyway, but you catch my drift. Bottom. A bit more aggression here. Sunlight's starting to move in, try to zone them away from Sammy. But you are at the stage now where Lil Nick can get just very aggressive as the Timber. Not really much in the way of dealing with the Timbersaw anymore, I don't think, during the laning stage.
No. Maybe if you get a lot more decays out, you can start to feel good, but that's going to be a lot of decays required to soften up Lil Nick to the point where his EHP doesn't feel that relevant. You should, again, just be down to a stable farming lane. Although Sunlight, not going to be in too much danger.
Giant's actually going to TP out. No, he cancels. Okay. Did we? Meanwhile, mid lane.
Yeah, I think he thought Esk was in danger. So he wanted to jump in to try to punish Babatich, but Babatich backs off right as he sees the TP. So it amounts to literally nothing as Esk is still set to die.
It's a lot of damage. There's no bugs going on where like Blood Grenade counts sticky napalm damage, does it?
No,
that was just his right click.
I believe so. I do not think we have anything like that. At least I hope so. Remember, what was the item that used to do that? There was that one item, wasn't there?
Dragon Scale.
Yeah, was it Dragon Scale?
Dragon Scale, yes.
There was a specific neutral. I don't...
It was Dragon Scale.
There was one interaction we were laughing. Was it Dragon Scale? Was it really just Dragon Scale?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, someone could correct me. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Dragon Scale.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it for now. Let's start to get a lot more aggressive. The side of Wildcard again off to a very smooth start. 2-0 in the laning phase. Kind of reminiscent of game 1.
Does get away from the blast off here in the mid lane. Had an Invis rune as well, luckily. It was either an Invis or a haste to get out of that. Otherwise, he probably was just going to die. Luckily, does get the Invis. No detection available. So Nick has the hand up here, knowing he really just can't die. The most fun thing about Timber when you've got this level 2 reactive armor is just standing there, just taking all these hits, knowing that they actually can't kill you. Very, very demoralizing stuff here for Wildcard down in this bottom lane, but at least Sammy is finding quite a bit of farm on the Void, not really struggling whatsoever.
Yeah. So imagine to get that build up, although lasso.
Yeah, mid lane, Esk is gone again. Giant has shown up, but Giant is gonna die, and Babatich will hand over the tip. Thank you very much for the extra kill, he says. And mid tier 1 tower gonna be under siege. In fact, it might actually just be gone.
Yeah, I don't think there is anything to really stop that push, even though the damage is slow going from Babatich. Eventually will fall down to 94 HP.
Oh,
can still go for the deny. Nice snag here from Jubei on the Wisdom Rune at the very least.
Yeah, he does get a nice Wisdom Rune still here from Monster. I tell you what, these Wisdom Runes being introduced to the game is one of the most stressful things in the game now, isn't it, John? Like, out of any other objective that they've put, I feel like Wisdom Runes are the most, like at level 7, it is so stressful as a support now. Because if you miss that damn Wisdom Rune, your cores are going to start pinging you at 15 minutes in asking why you're still level 4. And you're just like, well, hold on a minute. Maybe if you left the damn mid lane, I could get some XP. Lil Nick, he's about to get some XP here. John, Sunlight's in trouble, but no. Time dilation proves to be enough to not allow him to continue chasing the Undying. Meanwhile, Power Rune actually gets denied here by Giant. The Giant may get punished for this as Flea. Oh, nice Earth Spike. Cancels the blast off just as it was about to land. So it seems like I was about to say the mid tier 1 tower will go down. Glyph was forced out at least. But Jubei might be able to stick around for the deny of the tier 1, so it is going to go the way of Babatich.
Okay, I just realized what it was, Mike. The specific interaction with Batright was fake grenade, right?
Oh, was that
napalm stacking with fave grenade. Yeah, it was fake grenade. It applied an auto attack and you just do extra damage. It's like, that's funny.
But I'm not wrong in saying Dragon Skull did the same thing, didn't it?
I think the fake grenade was the bigger issue because it was like a tier 2. in comparison.
Right.
Just felt a lot faster for what it did. Yeah, just that's a throwback all the way back. That's a long time ago now, it feels like, Mike.
Well, hold on. Did the people in Twitch chat tell you that, John, or did you actually remember?
No, I actually went into the patch notes and looked at 7.32. They were like, all right, fake grenade remove. All right, that's it. Yeah, it was fake grenade.
Look at this. Stacks. Oh, that's a lot of stacks. Babbage just taking them away here with the help of the tombstone from Sunlight. They will at least chain up the Undying, but Sunlight's a pretty tanky target to try and go for. And most of that farm did go to Babbage. Even with them trying to snipe the creeps, it just wasn't enough against the Firefly, but they've at least caught out the Batrider. So Babbage is going to get punished for this. You might still call that worth, though. Like, that's a fair bit of gold influx going his way on the bat. Now, obviously, a lot of gold denial here from the American Goons.
I don't think you mind. Like, just preventing that rapid buildup for the side of Goons is more than enough. You know, just preventing catch-up here, especially for Esk after a slower lane, is big. Oh, Sammy?
Oh, going down. That's a big one. Slow down the Faceless Void. Sammy will drop here to Little Nick, and you know what? So far, John, in this game, even if Wildcard are still in the lead, it does feel like a much better start for American Goons.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they find their 3 kills, and I'm fairly confident the Goons will be able to find more than 3 kills this game. Already a massive improvement for sure. They've got burst plays, they've got some ways to counteract Chrono. For Sammy down the line as these fights break out, he has to kind of keep the line in Chrono as well. Because if he does get hexed up, if he gets earth spiked up, he can't actually do his damage that he'd want. Pressure onto that bot tier 1, with Little Nick taking point. They've left Sunlight here, so he could go.
Yes, does have chains. They will just wait, drag it out as long as possible, and then eventually just lock him down. So Sunlight's going to go down a Little Nick here. Little Nick now 3-0-0 on the Timber, having a very strong game. Wildcard, they're going to try and trade the top tier 1 tower, and they will be able to secure it. So both tier 1s in the side lanes going down. In terms of map control, I feel as though you are still in a bit more control as Wildcard, because you did find the mid-tier 1. The American Goons, though, are going to try and sort that out real quick, because they are going to smoke up as 3 and head towards the mid lane. Babbage has backed off at the right time, so instead they might have to reinitiate into their dire jungle. See if they can find themselves a decent target there. You do have monsters sticking around in a pretty aggressive position on the Visage. Giant going to try and move in for the Earth Spike. Was within range, but I think lost vision. Wouldn't have bothered anyway. I guess the Visage might just prove to be a little bit too tanky.
Sammy.
He's got Chrono. We'll pop it immediately. No strength morph in time. Flee. Oh, he mistimed it. Yeah. I could see it as soon as he cast his blast off, he mistimed it. Yeah. To be absolutely fair to Flee, that Chrono blast off combo is really hard to land. It is not, even if you practice it over and over again, it's really annoying to get the timing right.
Yeah, it's not an easy one. If Chrono had maybe a more, if it had an actual audio cue for its like duration, it could be a little bit easier, but it doesn't quite. So hard to land that one. Opportunity to push down mid, and you know you're safe here on Boris, so he's free to just keep farming up. No contest coming out from Wildcard, but no Chrono. It's not feasible for them to take that team fight. So again, a lot better of a showing from the side of the Goons, and for Wildcard, that's a lot slower for game. Like after a strong start for Babitic, he's still trying to build up into the GRIN. That's the point where your Batrider can just constantly spam out, no worries, but you don't have that much fight.
Well, they drop a Tombstone. Mid-tier 1 tower is still alive. They've got a little bit longer with it. DP rotations incoming as well, but they are scouted out. Not really much coming out of this whatsoever here for Wildcard. They would have at least liked a kill on the way out, but they just don't get one. At least tier 1 tower is still standing. Thing is, Sammy's going to be scouted out now by Giant. Sammy, not knowing what to do with himself, is actually going to try for the kill on the Lion. Giant being very, very patient with the Earth Spike or the Hex. Won't bother throwing it out until his team was close enough, and well, that just never really happened. Yeah, just a very calm game between these two teams so far. 4-4, almost 14 minutes into the game. Does feel like you could consider it a very even game. I can't confidently say one side's in the lead, and in fact, it seems like I'm right for once, John. It is 50-50 right now in terms of Dota plus win probability.
Yeah, I'd agree with your sentiment there, Mike. I don't think this game gets any easier for either side in even form. Right, like your core to core for Morphling versus Faces Void is either one can win. It's really just down to execution. Like at equal form, it's really down to who gets to jump who first and who gets to clean up a little bit better here.
Nick.
Babbage.
Yeah, it's a big kill if they can get it. Though Nick trying to be a little bit cheeky there with the Lotus Orb usage. Was waiting for Babbage to lasso so he could try to get the Lotus Orb and just waste it completely, but Babbage, he does hold out. He won't waste it.
They do still end up wasting smoke, I suppose, but you don't lose out on too much. And you're kind of catching up nicely here on the side of Goons, getting a lot of room to farm up on all your cores. Only Esk still kind of hurting on the Ember, but fortunately, yeah, the Ember doesn't require too much here. Sammy being targeted with his Moonlight.
It's a big kill. There's your Earth Spike out. Sammy melting very, very quickly, and he is just dead. Great pick up here from American Goons. You kind of question whether Sammy should even be around this area, to be perfectly frank with you at this stage. Mid lane. No, Nick now going to move in. Sunlight is going to go down as well. Flea's jumped in for a blast off, but that's not going to work out in his favor, as they'll even find a third pickup. Just one by one wildcard are falling. American Goons. Big kills coming out here as now they can finally focus down this mid-tier 1 tower without any contest from wildcard.
Nice easy push, nice pickoffs coming out. Wildcard just kind of streaming in one by one right now. Doesn't feel like any of their cores are ready to play. Once you hit Babbage up with the Octarine and Blink, perhaps that's the point that you can see more commitment coming out. Monster as well, just opting to keep farming up top to work onto the ores. Not too far off from the full pipe. So it should bring a lot more durability in up against all the magic coming out here from the Goons. But it does take time. The more passive draft is up for Wildcard. So they have to just play it slower and prevent that bleed out, because Lil Nick's getting pretty damn big on the Timbersaw. Just the Lotus Orb alone makes him pretty hard to manage. Even if you land a Chrono onto him, Sammy just doesn't have enough output to deal with the Timbersaw. You don't have the best lockdown for the Ember outside of your Lasso and Blast Off. So Chrono's probably your most stable bet to actually lock in that Ember Spirit. And it's a little bit tricky for Wildcard to even play. So just farm up, take it slow. For the side of Goons, I mean, they're very close to the point where they're going to be really comfy here. Like Manta for Boris is the big one. More stats to play with, not going to be a complete glass cannon when fully agied up. Allows some leeway away from the control as well. And he hasn't been pressured at all on the Morphling. Far cry from game 1 where it was a lot more back and forth for him from the laning phase, but maintaining his net worth and no sign of slowing down. Just no threat from Wildcard this time.
Yeah, absolutely not. Boris is having a fantastic game. I think the Lil Nick especially is having a very good game with the Timber. It's always nice to have a Timber from the offlane that's doing this well. So it allows your whole team to just kind of snowball out of control, just knowing you can set a really nice pace here. Whereas for Wildcard, they haven't really started to take off at all yet. Thing is, it's been a lot of split pushing going on. Like, you have an offlane Visage, so Monster doesn't really do much at the moment. Like, he's just trying to build into those big aura items so he can just be that annoying tanky core in the middle of a team fight, just providing all these bonuses to his team. But he's nowhere near that stage yet where you can really say he's a real menace. Now the smoke's going to be kind of given away thanks to the mines of Flea. Flea may get caught for this, but at the very least, the rest of his team does get away from this top side of the map. So they'll take the Techie's kill. Monster will go towards the east, though Sunlight is kind of revealing himself by decaying the creep wave. So he'll need to TP out ASAP if he doesn't want to get caught here, but it seems like he has prioritized just creep skipping over his life. And eventually, TP play is there, but the chains are going to be out. They even hex him up just in case. So Sunlight, again, seemingly just wanting the creep wave pushed out, does kind of accept the fact that he's going to die for that.
It's a Nice skill to find, because that's the blink coming out now for Giant. Even more initiation to come here for the goons. Get to go into the Roshan as well. Wildcard. I mean, if Sammy's not ready to go, then there's just no play in that pit. Gonna be a freebie for the side of the goons. Secondary life coming out for Boris, more than likely here. Just doesn't feel like you have enough to kind of handle 2 lives. You don't have that burst window open for yourself at all.
Yeah, even with the chrono up, like around the Roshan pit, they couldn't really go for the fight. But now maybe because they're split up, they could try. Top lane, bit of a group up here from Wildcard, looking towards Esk and Jubei. Arrow's going to land here onto the techies, though Jubei does need to back his way out because Flea has survived. Esk is still trying. He will slide a fist and just remnant away, but the chase is on. Babbage really wants the kill, but he can't get Esk without detection. So Esk is going to be just fine. The smoke rotation from Wildcard does not pay off for them.
Just more time being expended. I suppose the one silver lining is, again, Sammy gets to farm up. He's going for a fast BKB just to ensure that there is no threat on its life once the chrono is up. He just should be able to not worry about the line at the very least. Like, you can 1 or 2 man chrono, leave the line outside. You get the chase down onto that said line.
Okay, that's 1, but can they get Boris? The answer seems to be no. He'll just morph into the void. Nice easy time dilation, just walk out of there. No real thinking here for the Morphling. The American Goons, I mean, just no need to rush this game. Like, even if you are up against the Void, you don't want to get to a point where you lose a big fight and you hand the whole advantage you have back the way of Wildcard. You've got so much scaling potential on the Morphling and your Timber and your Ember that it just feels like there's no need to try and force this game. Just hold the advantage. The longer you can hold the advantage, the better.
Yeah, again, you scale as well as Wildcard does, so there's no need to kind of overthink things. The one thing that Wildcard does have on top of you is, again, the threat of chrono. That is something that always feels good, that you don't have counterplay for directly here on the side of goons. So that could be the concern going forward, but it doesn't feel like we're reaching that point anytime soon just yet. Time to clump up around bot here.
You go. Babbage looking for a big lasso opportunity. Remnants forward. They have made the jump in on the Visage, but that's all bait here for Wildcard. They'll go for the lasso on the Timber. Lil Nick still going to be able to chain away, though. No stun coming out. Sammy looking for a chrono opportunity, does find one. It's on 2 targets, but do they have the damage to follow up through the chrono? It doesn't seem like it. They will get away for now. Wildcard is still chasing for more, but Sammy's been caught. Sammy's been bursted down. A very desperate fight from Wildcard has not paid off so far. It's Boris and Lil Nick will just keep moving forward. Sunlight still fighting, and in goes the Batrider once again. Babbitt is trying to find an opening. Jabay does go down. Maybe they can make this fight work. Esk is dropping too low. Boris has lost his Aegis to boot. They have been kited too far. It's only Boris and Lil Nick left, and so far Boris, being just stun locked, is going to go for the waveform TP play out. He is going to make it. So they do get away with the Morphling. They do find the Faceless Void kill. But it does feel like they lost quite a bit for that.
I think you're more than happy on Wildcard for sure. You managed to make that work. You take away the Aegis. You save your tier 2 as well. A little bit awkward from Sammy in that fight. Like, he was hitting the Ember in the chrono, but when the BKB came on, decided to chase the Timbersaw instead. And that does cost him. Like, the Ember is actually running to a much more isolated part of that team fight. Not as many heroes surrounding them in that lower part of that lane. And this is out maybe an opportunity to just get away with it with his life. Still smoke out from goons. They know chrono's down. They can force something out here.
They can try. Monster's going to be spotted. Sunlight will be spotted as well, but they want the bigger kill in the Visage, so they will move in. Monster will go for a bit of a run with the Grave Chill. He is pretty damn fast. And it also doesn't help that the Tombstone was dropped on the high ground, so they will be a little bit worried of a bad team fight, because Babbage is here now. Lasso has connected. It is on the Ember, but Esk is taking no damage. He had the Flame Guard going, so he was fine through this. More TPs incoming. Arrow's going to land onto the techies, but in comes Sammy with the time dilation. He'll move in onto Esk, who does force to be BKB'd up. Sammy, he'll get forced after the high ground, but Boris is on the chase. The Void barely escaping. The finger, not quick enough. Sammy's still being bashed. Here is going to go down. Boris just not letting him go. It's Wildcard in a similar position. Boris going for even more now. Giant, he will land the stun onto Flea, meaning the techies is gone. And Lil Nick, he will clean up. Sunlight on the Undying. So this time, they will get 3 for nothing the way of American Goons.
Yeah, and that's a much cleaner engage from Goons. Again, understanding that Wildcard, without the chrono, isn't that big of a threat. You can run into them. The only control you have to worry about is really the lasso and Babatich. The follow-through wasn't there to burst down Esk. And the cleanup crew is just there. Like the line with the consistent stuns is starting to really impact the way Wildcard have to take these fights. Monster doesn't feel like a hero at all at this point. On that Visage, he soaked up a good amount of farm. Still ahead of even Sammy's farm, but it doesn't feel like the investment's heading anywhere just yet. He is going for the AC, so that could be the launching point here for the Visage, but I don't know, like in comparison, Lil Nick's been doing a lot more. Octarine up on that Timbersaw, going for the Ags, gonna have that reactive armor passive with a barrier, or the active with a barrier, and things get harder and harder for Wildcard. Again, you can always have faith that you have a Faces Void in the long game, but Sammy still needs so much more farm to make that dream a reality.
They do. It's just no damage is happening in these chronos at all. Not into the cores anyway. Sammy, bottom lane, top lane rather, he could be in trouble again. Giant, he's in with the Hex. Monster trying to help out, but Sammy just gets completely destroyed. He so desperately needs the BKB. But these Hex initiations from Giant have been fantastic. I don't think he would even have a chance for a BKB with the way he's been initiating. His Monster will also go down. American Goons well and truly control this game number 2 now. Wildcard, they've been relegated to just pushing out the side lanes, hoping for a retreat. But American Goons, they are still moving through the top lane. Onto the high ground they go.
Yep. They force out at least to fortify. So next time they come in should be a really easy cleanup. And they'll steal away the Tormentor, which is pretty big. Now you have the free shard for Giant. So Mandarin AoE is up. And that just means there's some good crowd control coming in, because how do you stun the line in the back? Maybe you've put out a familiar and tried to stone form on him to stop that constant 0 mana gameplay. It's easier said than done. Smoke out from Wildcard as well. Sammy not joining in for this one, wanting that farm. They need some pickoffs here on Wildcard's end. With no blink up yet in Babatich, this is easier said than done.
Well, they're going to move in. Boris is the one to get scouted out here by Flea with the Glimmer Cape. Last off initiation. Boris, he's not going to react. Oh, he does. He got the Strength Morph anyway. He has the shards up, so he doesn't care for the stun. Boris now happy to turn around with the rest of his team. They saw the Tombstone dropped, and they're going to deal with it immediately. So no more Tombstone available for Sunlight. And it seems like Wildcard, they have seen enough. They've committed enough, quite frankly. They will just retreat out of here. But American Goons, they seem like they want to try and force a fight. Of course, they know Sammy Boy was in the triangle. Sammy's still showing underneath the creep wave here. Needs to be so cautious about this line initiation. So he gets hexed, he's just dead. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, he's just not going to live true. At least has a full BKB, so he can react now if the play does come onto him. And he's a lot safer in that chrono. It doesn't need to worry about locking in some of the supports here. Although, okay. Gets out of that dicey situation with the Chains Arrow setup. Roche not too far off here. And if Goons finds that one, then they've got a really clean shot onto the high ground. In the side of Wildcard, I mean, they should be hitting this Babatich blink timing soon as well. So blink lasso is going to be a factor that could help turn these fights to the side of Wildcard, but I don't know, it's looking rough here, Mike. There's just so much to worry about. You have to catch the Morphling, the Ember, the Timbersaw, and
Flea's down. Another nice initiation here from Giant. Nick will just clean up very, very quickly here on the Timber. Nick now 9-0-2 on the Timber Saw, having a very, very strong performance this game. And there's that Roshan you talked about. It is now available. Jabei's going to scout it out for his team. The American Goons, I mean, it should just be the freest Rosh of their life. You still have an opportunity as Wildcard to try and contest this, but it seems like they're probably not even going to try to make their way over.
No. It's not really an easy fight to contest for them. Like, Rosh isn't falling the fastest either, to be fair, but you just don't have output. Sammy's not ready to burst anyone down. In fact, he's having to go for a Linken's now just to prevent that Blink Hex. Buy himself some time to respond. You spot out Giant taking the gate.
Oh, Giant's going to be just fine. He'll just get some D-wards off. His team's right behind him anyway. And with the Aegis up, they want to fight. They are more than happy to try and fight Wildcard at the moment. It's Wildcard are the ones that are going to try and play the avoid game, it seems. And well, all of them are disengaging quite nicely for now. Sunlight's going to get spotted here by Esk, but Chains do not end up going. Now they do. Esk will lock down the Undying. Even some familiars being left behind here. They might just focus those down while they're at it, but no, they'll get respawned here by Monster, making sure he doesn't feed that gold away. They can't really afford to give any more gold to the way of American Goons at the moment. It's all about buying more time here for this Void, who is very, very far behind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for Sammy. Stark contrast to game number 1, where he was just allowed to free farm. This time he's under a lot of pressure. So, timing for the Lincoln's going to be a bit far off. His level 18 not quite there. Level 20 still far off as well with the attack speed in Chrono. And the map is shrinking.
Monster. Chase is on from Boris. Monster has not really seemed that tanky this game, and we do see it again. He is down. Meanwhile, Babbage was trying to go on a bit of a solo mission in the mid lane, but he might get punished for this. Little Nick on the chase. Not going to be able to hold down the Visage, or rather the Batrider, excuse me. With that, American Goons, they're back into the top tier 3 tower. They just want to go. No need to not go high ground. It's just threaded with the lasso. Keep in mind the Aegis is up on Boris, so with the lasso up, like it's going to be kind of hard to deal with the Morphling a second time. Up onto the familiars of Monster. Nothing being done about the tier 3 tower yet. They're just too afraid to initiate onto the American Goons. Sammy's not even there at the moment. He's finally TPing back. Oh. Jump is there. Lasso has been at least caught out Little Nick, but they drag him out of the Chrono. Oh no. And now Boris just gonna jump in to clean up. Oh, that's rough. Hey, he got 2 of his teammates stuck in the Chrono and they dragged the one guy they wanted to kill out of it. And of all people, like, you probably shouldn't be aiming Little Nick. If you're gonna aim anyone down, it's Boris. He's just happily jumping in. Sunlight is down. Babbage is trying to creep skip, I believe, on the Batrider. The top racks is already gone, to be absolutely fair. And Sammy is still trying to go against Boris, but Boris is just going for the man fight with no care in the world.
All right.
Finds the Faceless Void. And I believe we are going to a game 3. It's American Goons are looking to put an end on this game. Jump in. Lasso is out. They've caught at least the Ember, so Esk has given his life away. Maybe American Goons are about to show us a bit of a throw here. But no, Sammy dropping too low again. The Glimmer Cape going to save for now, but not for long. That's a dieback immediately out into the Void. They're still trying to deal with Boris, but he still has a secondary life. He's just not dying. Maybe they could kill Lil Nick here, but it doesn't really feel like it. Lil Nick just going to chain TP away. They don't have a cancel. He's fine.
Yeah, they hang on the side of Wildcard for dear life. Top set of racks plus 1 tier 4 being down, while at least the range rack still standing. Goons going for the all-in play doesn't quite pay off. Mind you, I don't think the bounce back is good enough from Wildcard. Losing Sammy, having this Faceless Void still be this poor is really not what you want to be seeing. Like, you need that Faceless Void to carry you through this kind of game. It's just nowhere close to that. As you saw, our win probability, 5% for Wildcard, 95% for the Goons. Just need maybe a couple more pickoffs onto the high ground again here.
But this time, it's going to be Sunlight. Though Nick really dominant this game. 11-0-7 now in the Timber. Still yet to die once. Boris sitting at 9-0-7. Now has a full Satanic up, so even more challenging to consider trying to kill. At least he's going to lose the Aegis in 15 seconds, but with the Satanic, he's basically got an Aegis anyway. We go again. T3 mid tower now going to be under siege. They know Sammy has no buyback, so they just need to kill him off once, and the game is as good as done. Chrono is up though, and Aegis has now officially expired. Not to mention, we have the Ags up on our Bat Rider, so Babbage does have the double lasso available. And that can be quite scary if you get anywhere near that Radiant Fountain. Yeah, that could be the game-changing kind of tactic here from Babbage.
Shadows take us.
Moonlight Shadow looking to try and initiate. There is Sentry Ward placement in that top lane, so they are going to know they're coming. Or do they? Sammy? No, he didn't get the memo. Sammy gets caught, 4-staff away, he'll still survive for now, looking for perhaps a Chrono, and does find a 3-man Chrono, but the damage, where is it? Lasso is out, they've caught 2 with that, but it's immediately cancelled. Oh, it's a shame. That's a real shame. American Goons, they can go right into the mid-racks once again. It seems like Wildcard are out of options. They will still try, but I don't see how you do it without the lassos or the chronos. By the way, the lasso was cancelled because he ended up lassoing the lion who had an Aeon disc. So it ended up cancelling both the lasso targets. GG. Yep. Game 3 on its way.
Fair. It's a little bit sad. I mean, Sammy, you see the effect of Morphling Ags again. 70 attack speed loss on a Faceless Void, minus all the agi. The guy just doesn't do anything.